That's right, it is time to reclaim your power. Mars goes into Leo on April 18th and will remain in Leo until June 17th, while the opposition of Mars and Leo to Pluto and Aquarius will take place on the 26th, but you'll feel the effects for around a week or so. This will be a time to recapture your individual power. Not only that, but it's a chance to learn how to capture your power in an ever-changing world, or to apply your personal energy to a world that looks very, very, very different than it once was. You may be feeling irritable, I get it, trust me, or on edge, or restless, or impulsive, or even hesitant with this crazy life we're living. Trust me, I get it. Life is kind of crazy right now. And in a world where everybody wants a slice of cake, we're all fighting for the same cake, you're trying to figure out how to properly get a slice of your own as well, because let's be real, we're all hungry and we all want a little bit of cake. And that's reasonable, you know? Pluto in Aquarius brings rapid and progressive change. It brings innovation, rebellion, and revolution. This transit could foreshadow what hurdles, obstacles, or energies you may need to tap into at this time and era of human history in order to make the most out of this Pluto and Aquarius journey, aka you may get a taste of the big themes you'll experience for the next 20 years. Whereas Leo shows us how individuality, passion, and creativity is expressed. And so in other words, Mars opposite Pluto can illuminate where and how you can capture your individual and passionate sense of power in order to live a life where you're not just the passenger, no, but instead can become the driver, and not just any driver, a good driver. Or you could become a master surfer that learns how to ride the wave. It can also show where an innovative impact can be made on your part. So the house Leo falls in your natal chart represents where you want to be seen and celebrated. The house is where you crave recognition and where you want to express your creativity, passion, and individuality. You naturally radiate in the house that Leo falls in your chart. This is your stage where you're meant to lead with confidence no matter how shy you are. But you may also struggle with pride, ego, or fear of rejection in this area of your life in some way. And then the house that Aquarius falls in your natal chart represents where you're evolving and rewriting the rules. This is where you're asked to detach from old systems and to innovate. You might feel different or rebellious or misunderstood in this house, but you're meant to bring change here. There's often a deep internal transformation happening in this part of your life, even if Pluto wasn't here, but especially because Pluto is here right now. Because it's not about the ego with Aquarius, it's about the impact. Keeping this information in mind about Aquarius and Leo, I will soon go into what is happening during this Mars opposite Pluto transit, depending on your rising sign, as well as other relevant natal placements, such as where your natal Mars by sign and house is, and also what house Pluto is in. And also, it is worth noting that there is a T-square forming to the Sun and New Moon in Taurus at the time of the opposition, meaning whatever house Taurus falls in your natal chart, as well as its desire for stability and steadiness, may be holding you back from unlocking your Leo or Aquarian energy to its fullest potential. Or could be the other way around. Perhaps your Leo and Aquarian energy needs to be in balance in some way with your very valid Taurian, is that a word? Taurian need for stability. It can go both ways. It's time to respect all fixed energies in your chart and to find a way to align these energies together to help you live a fulfilling life. Given that this will be a new moon in Taurus, specifically a new moon, this will be a fantastic opportunity to shift your outlook and start fresh in terms of stability and self-worth, and to do so in alignment with the expression and impact you hope to have on the world. That's probably, honestly, the best way a T-square can play out, because even if the energy is challenging and there's a battle of wills, it can be used to take decisive action to reclaim your power through an understanding of the world while balancing it with your need for stability, which, let's be real, we all need stability in some way at this point in our life. It's getting a little tough out there, you know? we got this, we got this. To understand what this may mean to you, please keep watching as I will dive into not only how this transit may impact all rising signs, but how you can relate and best manage this energy given your Mars sign and house, which by the way, this will highlight how you can best exert your energy at this time, as well as the house that Pluto falls in your natal chart, which shows areas of life in which transformative or energy or transformations come naturally to you and can connect to how Aquarius transformations may play out for you at this time and throughout the next 20 years. We got a lot to unpack here. So grab popcorn, grab water, go to the bathroom before, because we know this is gonna be a ride, so stay tuned. For my wonderful Aries risings, this transiting Mars and Leo will be transiting your 5th house of romance and pleasure or creativity, while Pluto in Aquarius will be transiting your 11th house for the next 20 years. And so at this time, tension between your romantic or creative desires, or maybe feeling like you can't pursue what brings you joy. Maybe there's like some power dynamics between your hobbies or what brings you joy or romance, and perhaps this is at tension with the expectations of society. Maybe for some reason society is blocking you from pursuing what it is that you want, or maybe it's friend groups or larger groups at large. There's definitely some tension between pursuing your joys and society that's blocking you, and you'll feel this power struggle ever so strongly during this Mars opposite Pluto transit. But what I will say is that there is the potential for creative breakthroughs, but only after you decide that you want to reclaim your power at this time. You're not gonna let society or friend groups pressure you. You're not gonna let the world pressure you. And one thing that also could be blocking you, because technically Taurus is in your 2nd house, and this is where the new moon and the sun is going to be. Maybe there's monetary blocks. Maybe you don't have enough dough or moolah to sort of like pursue your joys. Maybe you're getting tired of the 9 to 5, or maybe you want stability with money. Maybe you make okay money, but you know it's not enough. Or maybe there's something about your beliefs that you want to hold steady or steadfast, but it is really challenging because you're in a world where you want to achieve something, and it's kind of hard to achieve in your comfort zone. And so you might be having to break out of your beliefs in some way. And so a good theme for you to sort of ask yourself at this time is, do I shine for myself, or do I dim my light to fit in? And because Scorpio and Lilith is in your 8th house, try meditating at this time, tapping into your subconscious fears, and really unleash and like embrace the things that bring you pain, because that might be what helps you to capture power. And if you want to see more about how your energy can be exerted, go down below and look at your timestamps for your Mars and your Pluto placements, and I'll hope to see you then. For my Taurus risings, this Mars and Leo transit will be taking place in your 4th house of home, family, safety, innermost security, while Pluto in Aquarius will be transiting your 10th house of career, success, achievement, and public reputation. And so at this time, home or family conflicts, maybe even conflicts with past traumas or innermost security, or even in a literal sense, conflicts with family or people living in your home, can clash with your career demands or public image at this time. It could also be that there's like a controlling authority figure, whether at home or at work, that could trigger a rebellion with you, or maybe it's just like a controlling system within your home or your career in general that is triggering this need to like reclaim your sense of safety, your sense of power, whatever it may be. And you are ready to protect and fight for your inner world at all costs. You want to be safe at home. You want to be able to go home and take a nap and relax and to not stress about success and the pressures. Maybe it's also that you feel this like need and like this pressure, either from society or from home figures, whatever it may be, to succeed. You're putting this pressure on you to make something out of yourself, and maybe you don't feel like you're quite capturing that, and that's not helping you to feel safe at this time. It could work in any of those directions. And so a theme for you to remember right now is, I will not sacrifice my peace for success. This is your time to recapture your power for the sake of your own peace, because trust me, that will in turn help you to capture power in your career. And with Taurus, the new moon and the sun in your 1st house, there might be like a rock inside of your being or a need for stability inside of your being that is kind of being shaken or challenged by these pressures from your like internal home life or your internal self in your career. And so with this new moon coming, it is time to like recapture and to like start your identity anew. You are the person who puts your foot down for what you need, and depending on your Mars sign and where Pluto is in your chart, that's going to influence how you capture that power and how you start a new cycle. And so go down to the timestamp below to see how this may affect you. Gemini Risings, this transit Mars and Leo is taking place in your third house of communication, skills, learning, immediate environment, whereas Pluto in Aquarius is transiting your ninth house. And so at this time, there might be like an intense need to like recapture your voice. You might have intense debates with others, debates with society, something about like your beliefs may be very strongly triggered by what's going on with society right now. There could be some ideological clashes with other people, could be siblings. That does relate to the third house sometimes, but not necessarily. There's something about wanting to express your voice at this time, but you feel like there's something about the way society is structured right now or your beliefs that is going to be challenging. And so you may be challenged to defend your beliefs at this time, or even to change them. Maybe you're going to change your beliefs at this time because there's some sort of like disconnect between what you believe versus what you would believe if you had all of the information. And so expect like a chance or a calling to voice yourself and to better assert your voice in relation to sort of the beliefs that are going on in society right now. And so speaking your truth could shake up your worldview, or it could shake up your community. And so no matter how others react to you, or no matter how you vocalize yourself, stand strong in your convictions. Obviously be balanced and understand how to deliver your messages, but stand strong if you truly believe something. Don't shy away from it. Do not do that. And so a theme right now that you could be looking at or addressing is that your voice has power, but how are you going to use it? That is the real question. And with Taurus, the new moon and the sun transiting your 12th house, there might be some subconscious or unconscious beliefs or traumas or triggers that will start anew at this time that can help you balance the way you communicate. Maybe you have this subconscious need for stability and that's why you don't always speak up, or maybe you have a subconscious need for stability, so that's why you feel challenged by what's going on with society right now. But because you have this new moon, it is a time to go deep within your psyche to understand where society is, where your beliefs are, where you sit in that, how you can communicate it, because once you understand your role and to dive into your subconscious and to learn what you want your role to be, that's when you're going to find your power. And so go down and click on the timestamps for your Mars and your Pluto placements so that you can learn more insight into how you can act at this time. Cancer Risings, this Mars and Leo transit will be taking place in your second house of finances, material possessions, and self-belief, belief systems as a whole, anything you own, that is the second house. Whereas Pluto in Aquarius will be taking place in your 8th house of intimacy, transformation, any of like the extreme parts of life, fear, control, other people's resources, that's the 8th house. And so at this time, money or self-worth or control issues could get hot. There might be experiences with Pluto in the 8th that feel out of your control. They feel detached from you, and it may cause a struggle in grasping either financial security, what you want materially, or to even like grasp or act on your beliefs and your sense of self-worth. Like maybe you feel like the world is sucking you dry from your passions for some reason. It could come numerous ways. And so you may face financial power struggles in a relationship or debt scenario, or even on like a metaphorical level, this could mean like emotional debt or emotionally putting power to forces that don't belong to you, which could be really impacting your self-worth and your ability to like capture what it is you want out of life. And so this transit can spark a transformation in how you value yourself, as long as you act towards going towards what you want out of life. And so a theme right now for you is, I know my worth and I will not be owned. I will not let this world own me. I will not let it control me. I will grab the bull by the horns and I will control it. And with the Taurus sun and new moon forming the T-square transiting your 11th house at this time, there could be something about like a lack of stability within society, or like you want like a stable network group, you want a stable community, you want a stable society, you want a stable friend group. And maybe at around this time you could feel challenged in like having a stable community. But with the new moon taking place in the 11th, this is time to start anew. You can go towards new communities that promote the values that you truly value, that see things the way you see things, and that can help you to gain confidence in yourself and to go towards your self-worth. And so this is a major time for you. So go down in the timestamp below, click on your Mars placement and your Pluto placement to see how you can better act at this time. Leo Risings, welcome to the party. I'm with y'all. I'm a Leo Rising too. This transit, Mars and Leo will be transiting in our 4th house, while Pluto in Aquarius is transiting our 7th house. This transit is going to hit us directly. So expect a lot of tension in relationships, partnerships, and also how we view those things, how we put value on ourselves within those things. Power plays or jealousy or deep attraction could happen at this time. It could be a literal sense, but also it could be power dynamics and plays within our psyche. Are we putting enough value on ourselves? Are we putting too much value on other people? Are we letting the expectation of others control us at this time? Or are we acting in our best interest? Are we treating ourselves? Are we loving ourselves? I don't know. That's for this transit to address. If you're feeling tension in these areas, then maybe there's some ways you can recapture power. And you're becoming a force. We've had Cancer transiting our 12th house for so long. Our sleep has been horrible. Our psyche has been a mess. It is time for us to become a force. We must confront how we assert our personal power. We shouldn't let relationships control us too much, but we shouldn't be completely greedy either. There's a balance, you know? And so our theme right now is that I lead with fire, but can I still stay soft? Can I be this strong, powerful person in my interpersonal relationships where I value myself, where I balance myself without overbearing people? Or am I going to let either my aggression or the power plays of others take over? And so with Taurus transiting our 10th house right now, this extra pressure and this new start could stem from our career, our reputation. Maybe we want to make something out of ourselves. Maybe we want to go in a direction within our career and our reputation that feels so hard to achieve, either because there are people challenging us or we're challenging ourselves. Maybe we don't feel like we're good enough to achieve on the same level as other people do, but we want to achieve in our career. But we want to achieve not necessarily for limelight, although that is a part of it. We want stability in the impact we make on this world. And so the new start that's coming within our career could help us in turn to recapture our personal power and to understand how others play a role in us capturing our power within our career. So we got to keep all of those in balance. And if you want to see how you can exert your energy at this time, go to the timestamps below, click on your Mars placements and your Pluto placements, and I hope that helps. Virgo Risings, this Mars and Leo transit, it will be taking place in your 12th house of dreams, the subconscious, isolation, transcendence, anything outside of this world. That is the 12th house. Whereas Pluto is transiting your 6th house of work, health, routine, everything that is practical and down to earth. That is where power struggles may take place, but also you can reclaim your personal power, because burnout or hidden anger could erupt in your work or health life at this time. You might feel like there's something about your daily routine that's a drag. Maybe you're not in control of your routine. Maybe you're not in control of how you spend your day-to-day life. Maybe there's health issues, but also maybe there's habits within your health and your routine that you have a blind spot to that you don't even realize is an issue. Like maybe you're on your phone too much, you're not exercising enough, you're not eating well. It could be something related to that. And with Mars transiting your 12th house, you will feel this unconscious pull to change to change something in your life, but you don't know what it is. And there could be something unconscious, whether jealousy or sabotage or guilt related to your life that may need releasing in order to help you become healthier. You could be forced to detox your routine or your service role. Maybe you need to choose to take care of your psyche instead of letting your routines control you, because you realize the practicality on what it means to have a routine, but you got to take care of your psyche if you're going to properly execute your routine or your health or your work into this world. And so these are themes to keep in mind. And another theme to keep in mind is even my shadow side, even the things that bring me guilt, my past mistakes, those deserve compassion. And with Taurus, the new moon and the sun transiting your 9th house, you have very stable and grounded beliefs, and you will get a new start or a new lease on life in regards to your beliefs. Maybe you'll realize something you believe is radically different than you once believed, or maybe you'll realize what you do believe. Maybe you'll realize what you want, and that'll potentially help you to keep your routines and your subconscious in balance. Don't let these beliefs keep you caught up. Take these beliefs and your desire for stability and beliefs and success to help you with your routines and your subconscious healing. And go down to the timestamp below to click on your Mars and your Pluto placements to see how you can exert this energy at this time, because that'll help you to recapture power in all of these areas of life. So tune in and watch that. My beautiful, perfect Libra risings, Mars right now is transiting in our 11th house of Leo, and the 11th house takes care of friend groups, it takes care of society, it covers worldly impact, dreams, hopes, aspirations, larger communities, society, whatever you name that is a bigger impact on the world, that's 11th house. Whereas Pluto in your 5th house, now and for the next 20 years, is a chance to recapture your power in the realms of creativity, of romance, of what brings you childlike wonder. And so at the time that Mars and Pluto are opposing, friends or social causes may stifle your creativity or your romantic freedom. Or maybe it's society that's stifling your creativity or romantic freedom. Maybe you're being challenged by the state of the world. Maybe you're being challenged by friend groups or hopes and aspirations that is making it hard to tap into your sense of creativity or romantic freedom or what brings you joy, your hobbies, whatever it may be, because anything in that sense is covered by the 5th house. Could relate to children if that's relevant. Maybe there's something pulling you away from taking care of children if that's relevant, but that's only for a select few people. And so jealousy or competition in group settings could boil over at this time, or even competition in exerting your creative freedom. Maybe you feel challenged to do so, but you're being asked to own your creative power fully and to balance that with society. If people try to stop you from expressing yourself, who cares? Literally, who cares? As long as you're not hurting anybody, literally, who cares? Just always repeat that in your head. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And a theme that you can sort of hone in on right now is that I won't apologize for being radiant, for being myself, because eventually you will find networks or groups of people who support your hobbies, your creativity, the way you present to the world. And if you do have that currently, then maybe it's just a lease on a new side of that. This could be just a new start, because with Taurus in your 8th house of transformation, power dynamics, anything that's outside of your control is the 8th house. With the new moon, with the sun and new moon in Taurus in the 8th making a T-square with this Mars and Pluto, this is a time to lease a new start on releasing control over what you can't control. Just accept, hey, I can't control this. I will focus on recapturing power with what I can control, because that's all I can do. I know you want stability. I know you don't want things outside of your control, because Taurus in the 8th house is super stable. But what you can control is how you exert yourself and your creative powers into this world and into your friend groups and into society. And so go down below, click on your Mars placement and your Pluto placement to see how these themes may tie in at this time. For my powerful Scorpio risings, your Mars in Leo transit will be taking place in the 10th house of career, public reputation, your success in the world, how you put yourself out there in the world at large. And the Pluto transit will be taking place in your 4th house of home, of family, your roots, your emotional self, your innermost security. Take what resonates. And so at this time, your career drive could cause major family drama or major challenges to your feelings of security, or vice versa. Maybe your need for innermost security and stability in your family is stifling you from taking the drive you need to within your career. There may be a deep emotional pattern or a family wound that is driving your ambition right now, and that's probably not the best way to go at it unless you can drive that ambition using your authentic energy. And so be aware of what part of your innermost self is controlling you in a way that's holding you back, and what parts of your innermost self are controlling you in a way that is propelling you forward. Now is the time to analyze that. There is potential at this time for major success, but only if you deal with your inner roots, if you look within, because you could be challenged by home and family, but you could also be challenged by people at work. So take what resonates with you within that, because as long as you tap into your inner roots, you properly understand it from a detached perspective, because remember, Aquarius is detached, it understands, and you exert your authentic energy in such a way that recaptures your power, you can't fail even if you're challenged, because your theme right now is that power isn't control, it's integrity. You can work with integrity at this time, or whatever is integrity for you, and that will help you so much. Because with Taurus in your 7th house of one-on-one relationships, the sun and the new moon will be transiting your 7th house and forming a T-square with your 4th and your 10th house. These are angular houses, kind of a big deal, you know? And so there may be this desire for like stable partnerships, or even like dynamics where you feel more in control. Maybe you haven't felt in control with your one-on-one dynamics, and by control, like, don't necessarily mean like the bad kind of control, although I'm not calling all of you out, but some of us, we gotta heal, you know? And so with this new moon, there's going to be a new start to your relationships and how you approach those, and that can help you and better encourage you towards your drive and your innermost healing, as long as you take this new start with as much open-mindedness and you embrace your need for stability. Like, don't chase toxic people anymore. Recapture your inner power and stability, and that's going to help you so much. And so go down to the description, click your Mars sign, click your Pluto sign to get more insight into how you can exert your energy at this time. Sagittarius Risings. This Mars and Leo transit will be transiting your 9th house of beliefs, higher learning, travel, anything where you expand your horizons and exit your comfort zone. That is your 9th house. Whereas Pluto is transiting your 3rd house of communication, immediate environment, could mean siblings, your talents, your skills, how you project, read, and write into the world. And at this time, your worldview is being challenged. Something about your belief systems may be challenged. A teacher or a sibling, maybe an online discussion or something that you see online, your communications are going to challenge you, because they could spark a deep transformation in terms of how you communicate in this world, as well as how you believe. There may be something that is hindering your communication at this time. You may feel like if you speak up towards your beliefs, you're gonna get backlash. Maybe you don't think people are going to listen to you. Maybe you think your views are out there, but also it's possible that your beliefs are challenging how you speak and assert yourself. Maybe there's something about the way you communicate that is too detached. Maybe there's something about how you communicate that doesn't get the point across, and you will have discussions or learning experiences that could challenge the way you communicate and help you to communicate with more conviction, with more power, and in a way that is more authentic to yourself. And so take what resonates when it comes to this. And a theme to remember right now is what I believe must evolve. And a theme to remember right now is what I believe must evolve with who I become. Hopefully that makes sense, because it's more than just believing in something and going for it, but it's communicating that and embodying that within all essences of your being. And so if there are beliefs right now that are challenging you, or if there's communications that are challenging you right now, you're called to go towards what is the most authentic to you. And to realize what's the most authentic to you, look at where Taurus is in your chart, because this is where you're going to get a new start. Because with Taurus transiting your 6th house of work, of health, of routine, your day-to-day habits, you may get a new start in terms of how you take care of yourself, in terms of how you exercise your day-to-day routine. And this could have a giant impact on how you communicate. This could have a giant impact on how you believe, because if you're feeling good, if your routines are all in line, if you're feeling stable and safe and healthy, if there are health issues right now that you need to take care of, or if you're feeling challenged in your health, taking care of this will help you to communicate more effectively, and it'll help your beliefs to evolve in a way that is helpful for you. And if you want tips on how you can act at this time, go down in the description, click on your timestamps for Mars and your Pluto placements, and that will help you to learn how you can act at this time. My boss, Capricorn Risings, this Mars and Leo transit will be taking place in your 8th house of transformation, of fears, the things outside of your control, other people's resources. And Pluto in Aquarius, this transit will be taking place in your 2nd house of money, of finances, possessions, what you own, your belief systems. And so big shakeups around the transformative parts of life, whether money, other people's resources, sex, trust, you name it, there might be something that takes place that challenges that. It could be financial insecurity. It could be someone else's betrayal. It could be tax season, you know, in the US and in Canada. I don't know about other parts of the world. It's tax season. That might be relevant. There could be shakeups that are challenging the way you exert your power in this world. You may try to control a situation to feel secure, to recapture your power, but you'll find that it won't always work. There are things that are outside of your control that you wish you could control, because not having control is scary. What more can I say? And these parts of your life might be agitated at this time, but don't worry. You can recapture your power by learning to embrace the unknown, by embracing change with grace and like the lion-like regality, because Leos are regal. If your 8th house is in Leo, then you deal with transformation in a regal way. And even if the 2nd house, Pluto and Aquarius, and something with your finances that challenges you in doing that, you can express yourself authentically in situations you can't control, and you'll gain insights into what you can control through a detached perspective by letting go of that stress. And so there may be situations that call that into question, but it is a major time to learn how to recapture your power, because letting go of control in your case can lead to true empowerment. Trust me. And a theme right now that you can think about is I am enough without possessions or performance. You don't need to have everything. You don't need to have the biggest mansion or the most money in your bank account. You just need to embrace transformation no matter how that comes, and then you can recapture your power in terms of your beliefs or your finances through letting go. It's almost like when people talk about the law of attraction, it's when you let go that things come to you. This is probably the most relevant to you right now. And right now with Taurus in your 5th house, there is probably going to be a new start in terms of your creativity, your romance, your childlike wonder and joy that could aid in you gaining this personal empowerment. Like maybe instead of placing so much value on like your possessions or surrendering control to other people or the universe, you'll focus on your craft. You'll build new stability within that. Maybe it's a new romance, or maybe it's like a new sense of joy within the world that you're going to embody. And so take what resonates with that and go down to the description below. Click on your timestamp for your Mars and your Pluto transit, for your Mars and your Pluto placements to help you figure out how you can best manage your energy at this time. Aquarius Risings, this transit will be a major transit for you as well because Mars is transiting your 7th house of one-on-one connections, relationships, marriage, anything that involves you and one other person. That is your 7th house, and that is getting a lot of energy at this time. Whereas Pluto in Aquarius is transiting your 1st house of self, identity, how you present to the world. Aquarius is you, and Pluto, the planet of transformation, is transiting you right now. And so because of the Mars opposite Pluto transit, partnerships right now may test your transformation. Maybe the will of others is challenging you in such a way where you're kind of being like pulled away from yourself and your personal power. Maybe others try to dominate or mirror the power you're reclaiming, or maybe the idea of others. It doesn't even have to be like a direct person. It could just be like the idea of how you connect with others that is trying to like take away like the power that you're reclaiming with Pluto and Aquarius. And so you might feel tension in these energies at this time. Or it could be the other way around. Maybe you're detached from others, but you're looking to go more towards like vibrant and loving relationships. Maybe through your inner transformation, you're reevaluating what it is you want out of relationships. You're changing radically at this time. Don't let relationships pull you backwards, whether it's a lack of or who you deal with. Don't let anything about others pull you back. Balance your relationship with others and how you confront them in such a way where you can express your passion for other people, but also express your unique innermost self and your innermost power. Because Pluto transited your 12th house since 2008, you're probably going through the ringer in terms of mental health right now. And so this is a time to take everything you've learned and to apply it towards your personal power. And so a good theme for you to remember right now is, if I must choose, I choose evolution. That means whatever choice you make, let it be whatever pushes you forward. And so evaluate your relationships at this time. Evaluate your idea of relationships at this time. And make sure, if you're feeling any tension, that everything's in alignment with what you believe will help you to evolve. If it is, good. If it's not, I don't know, maybe it's time to reevaluate how you approach these things. And with Taurus, the sun and the new moon happening in your 4th house of home, family, innermost self, it could be a time where you are establishing a new definition of safety, innermost security. Maybe you're establishing relationship with family right now. Maybe you're establishing like what home looks like to you, what stability looks like to you. And by being aware of like what you want out of home, out of stability, but also like what you want out of a career, like what power you want with Lilith and Scorpio, with Lilith transiting Scorpio right now, being aware of what you need at this time will help you to keep all of these areas in life in balance. It'll help you balance your relationships, and it'll help you capture your power, but it'll also help you to feel safe while doing that. And so if you want to figure out how you can exert your energy at this time, go down to the description, click on your Mars placement and your Pluto placement, and hopefully that helps you to recapture your power at this time. Pisces Risings, this Mars and Leo transit will be taking place in your 6th house of health, work, routine, anything that deals with day-to-day life. That is where Mars will be transiting. And then Pluto will be transiting in your 12th house of the subconscious, fears, transcendence, dreams, anything that transcends the real world. That is what is receiving transformation at this time. Even mental health, that is also covered by the 12th house. And so at this time, work or your health or your routine could trigger like an inner breakdown or a breakthrough. There might be something about how you're working, exerting yourself, or like the demands of day-to-day life that is challenging you. It could challenge your health. It could challenge your mental health or your physical health. Or it could be a breakthrough. Maybe you learn to take charge of your day-to-day life. You take care of yourself. You express yourself healthily with your habits. You eat well. And that could help like profoundly in terms of like your innermost mind. Maybe it'll bring things to the subconscious that can help you heal. Maybe it'll help you to let go of things. But also at this time, be aware that subconscious fear of losing control could manifest physically or emotionally. Like maybe if you're not in full control of your day-to-day life and your routines, it reflects in your mental health in ways that you don't even realize. Like maybe there's something wrong and you can't quite put your finger on what it is, if that's you right now and you resonate with that, look at your 6th house and ask yourself, am I like being my lioness, my Leo-like self in my health and routine? Am I taking care of myself? Am I giving myself bath bombs? Am I giving myself 8 hours of sleep? Am I doing work that makes me passionate? All of these might be the culprit of anything that manifests right now, so take a note of that. And a good theme to remember right now is I surrender not because I'm weak, but because I'm wise. It's okay to take a break. It is okay to relax and to take care of yourself and your mental health, because trust me, when you do that, you will be even more productive. There are so many people who work because they have to, not realizing that rest would help them to come back and work 10 times better. This might be another thing that resonates with you and that you can embrace at this time. And with Taurus, the sun and the new moon in your 3rd house at this time, there might be transformations that happen with your communications, how you communicate. Maybe if you're having trouble maintaining your routines or maintaining your work, you vocalize it. Or maybe if there's problems with your subconscious and your mental health, talk about it. You don't have to talk about it with the person. You can write it down, you can vlog it, you can even just like have a little mental conversation with yourself in your head. Because with Taurus, this new moon in your 3rd house, you can learn how to find stability in your immediate environment through your proper communications. And so embracing your beliefs at this time will also be helpful with Lilith and Scorpio. And so if you want to figure out how you can best exert your energy this time, go down to the description, click on your Mars and your Pluto timestamps, and I hope that helps. Mars and Aries, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that you are already wired for action. Now you may feel even more aggressive or competitive or impulsive, so pay attention to the area of life that Leo falls in your chart and understand how this Aries energy may be applying to that Leo energy, because that'll show you where the root of the problem or the power dynamic may be. Also look at the house that Aquarius is in as well. And so you may butt heads with authority or overreact when you feel controlled. And so keep this in mind. In any situations that spark these feelings, pay attention to them and what they're trying to tell you, and do whatever it takes in relation to the other timestamps that I referenced to reclaim your personal power in a healthy way in that area of your life. And so good advice at this time is to use this power surge to initiate a breakthrough, not a breakdown. Pick your battles that are worth fighting and pause before reacting so that when you do act, your action is in a good direction. For Mars and Taurus, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that you are used to steady action, but this transit may feel like you are being pushed out of your comfort zone. So pay attention to the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. Pay attention to what triggers are making you feel outside of your comfort zone, and really assess like what that is trying to tell you, where any imbalances may lie, because power struggles around resources or routine could erupt, and especially in the areas of your life where Leo and Aquarius are existing. And so the advice for you at this time is to focus on slow but strategic moves. You're not meant to bulldoze, but to stand firm. But don't let your stubbornness block any needed change in your life. Let your groundedness keep whatever needs to stay steady, and then use your persistence to change what needs to be changed in such a way where you can recapture power in your life. For Mars and Gemini, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is you might be experiencing a mental overload. Maybe your mind's going a million places a minute. You might feel sharp-tongued or defensive or obsessive in your debates. And right now, words can cut a little deeper than you mean if you're not careful. And so advice for you at this time is to channel your fire into learning, writing, or speaking truth, but pause to consider the impact focused thought, because focused thoughts equals focused results. And also pay attention to what, in terms of where Leo and Aquarius falls in your chart, what is sort of triggering like a sharp tongue or defensiveness, because that might show what areas of your life need a little balance or need like a power struggle to be resolved. And so if you're able to figure out where this power struggle needs to be resolved, you can properly exert yourself in a way that helps you to capture your power. You can capture your power through the writing and the speaking of truth and the letting your clever wits do the talking instead of your defensiveness. For Mars and Cancer, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit may be that your emotions become your battleground. You may feel reactive, protective, or deeply triggered, especially in the areas of your life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So pay attention to what makes you feel like emotionally charged in relation to where Leo and Aquarius falls in your chart, because that might show you where power struggles fall. And old wounds could surface at this time, so pay attention to what those triggers are as well. And the advice for you at this time is to use this transit for emotional courage. Defend your needs, but don't lash out, and direct this energy into healing or nurturing or carrying boundaries, or to exert your energy in a way that's passionate to you. And so these are all things that you can keep in mind. Mars and Leo, this is your Mars return. And so the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that you are front and center at this time. With Pluto's opposition to your Mars, though, this is testing your leadership, ego, and authenticity, especially in the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. Pay attention to where you are exerting your power too much versus where you're giving control of too much, and see what kind of irritates your needs at this time, because that might be where the imbalance falls, and this may be where you can adjust your action at this time. And so some good advice is to lead with courage and heart, not dominance. Power struggles are mirrors. Reclaim your light without needing to dim someone else's. And so as long as you keep this in mind, no matter who challenges you, at least you know you are in the right, and that's all you can do. With Mars and Virgo, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that stress and perfectionism may spike. You may want control over chaos, but the more you tighten your grip, the more things unravel. And this is especially true in regards to the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. Anything that sort of like sparks this need for perfectionism, this may be where like power struggles are arising, whether it's on the fault of yourself or the fault of others. So pay attention to these houses and what your triggers are at this time. And a good piece of advice for you at this time is channel your energy into refining systems, not micromanaging. Whenever you do something, make sure you're doing it to make things better. That way, if you're challenged, that's on them. But if you're doing the best you can, then you give yourself the best shot at capturing power. And just remember that. And precision itself is power, but so is letting go of causes that you don't need to fight. If your Mars is in Libra at this time, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius transit is that you are pushed to confront your tendency to avoid conflict. Relationships may trigger control issues or force uncomfortable honesty, especially in the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see where you kind of like tense and shy up in regards to the houses of Pluto and Aquarius, because that might be where an imbalance is, and that might be where you can adjust how you act in order to reclaim power. And so advice for you is to stand your ground without losing grace. This is your moment to balance assertion with diplomacy, and don't cave to keep the peace, because standing up for yourself, honestly, sometimes that is what is needed for peace. And do so in regards to the houses where Pluto and Mars are currently transiting, so Leo and Aquarius. If your Mars is in Scorpio, your natal Mars is in Scorpio, the effect of this transit is that this is going to be intense for us already. I'm a Mars in Scorpio. I know, I get it. When we act with like such passion, if that makes sense. And now that the fire is being stoked, we may like become either vengeful or manipulative, not always, or we could be like obsessed with outcomes to the point where we're kind of like burning ourselves out or acting in ways that we shouldn't. And this is especially true for the areas where Leo and Aquarius fall in our natal chart. Like for me, I painted my nails today. I spent 6 hours because I kept messing up. That is not a good way to do it. So just be aware of like what gives this like obsessive energy, and use this like obsessive energy towards power. And so the advice right now is to alchemize this energy into power. Focus it towards inner transformation, creative passion, or strategic moves. Don't self-destruct. If you feel like you're getting obsessed, pull yourself out for a second and transcend, because this is how you can capture your power also in the areas of life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. If your Mars is in Sagittarius, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that you want freedom or adventure, but something or someone feels like it has put a leash on you. It is tying you down. And so you might feel restless or rebellious, or you might be in your escapist tendencies, especially in relation to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your natal chart. So pay attention to what makes you feel tied down at this time in relation to the houses that Leo and Aquarius are in your chart, because this might be the area of your life that you can act in order to reclaim power. And so my advice for you guys is to use this energy for bold, truth-telling, or adventure, but check your motives. Run towards your vision, but not away from pressure. If you have a goal, write your goals down, by the way, because when you act, you can see if you're actually acting towards your goal or if you're acting out of fear or ego. This could help you a lot at this time, and it can help you to direct your energy in a way that can help you capture power. If your Mars is in Capricorn, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that you're used to controlled and productive ambition. Even if you get a little lazy, sometimes you take things one step at a time, and that's how Pluto and Capricorn acts. But Pluto could challenge your authority or expose cracks in your long-term plans, which could like throw you for a loop. And so pay attention to the areas of your life where Pluto and Aquarius fall in your chart and see what makes you feel like ungrounded, because that might be where you can recapture power and to assert yourself properly in order to recapture your power at this time. And so my advice for you is to step into leadership without being a control freak. If something needs to collapse, let it. Just let causes that don't matter go and rebuild it better, because integrity right now is everything for you right now. But also don't waste your energy on causes that aren't gonna be worth your time. If you are a Mars in Aquarius, the effect of this transit is you're the one being directly opposed by transiting Mars. This is just something to keep in mind. So you may feel provoked or challenged or called to stand your ground in new or radical ways, especially in the area of life where Aquarius and Leo fall in your chart. And so advice for you right now is to innovate how you act and don't just react. Let go of needing to outsmart everybody, because authenticity is better than strategy right now. And that authenticity, trust me, it might not look like it right now, but it will help you to recapture your power. And finally, if your Mars is in Pisces, the effect of this Mars and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius transit is that this could feel emotionally overwhelming to you right now. You may retreat or avoid problems or become passive aggressive or even have escapist tendencies when you're triggered, especially in the areas of life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So pay attention to what within these areas of life make you feel overwhelmed, because that might be where balance is lacking at this time and where you can recapture your power through proper action. Your energy could fluctuate a lot right now. Maybe some days you're hyper, some days you want to go to bed. Be aware of that as well. And so some advice for you at this time is to channel your fire into a passion or into art or spirituality or compassionate-led action, whether the compassion is for you or for somebody else. Your power lies in soft disruption, not hard resistance. So let go of the need to control and let your actions, no matter what challenges you face, be what controls you. If your natal Mars is in your first house of self or identity, the effect of this transit may be that you are being challenged to evolve how you assert yourself. You may feel attacked or like your autonomy is threatened, or maybe the way that you are acting is causing direct opposition without even realizing it. And especially in the areas of life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your natal chart. So pay attention to how you are feeling challenged. And some advice for you right now is to practice measured confidence. Don't bulldoze or retreat. Find power in your authenticity and not ego. So however you're resolving the power struggles that were discussed with your rising sign and your Mars sign and your Pluto sign eventually, practice measured confidence and be authentic in that, because I promise you that'll help you to recapture your power. If your natal Mars is in your second house of money or values, the effect of this transit may be that control issues flare around security, self-worth, or income, especially related to the areas where Pluto is transiting, so Aquarius, or where Mars is transiting, which is Leo. And so you might feel like someone is trying to take what's yours, even if that's not what is actually happening. You might feel challenged, and even if that is what's happening, be aware of it and be aware of how your emotions flare, because some advice I could help you at this time is to stand firm in what you value. Do so with whatever challenges you face at this time, and rework your relationship with either money or your self-worth and your beliefs, because you want to build. You want your actions to accumulate. You don't want them to hoard or to overwhelm. And so this could help you to achieve more power, is to don't do so from a scarcity mindset. Act from a mindset of being true to your values. And so hopefully that helps. If your Mars is in your 3rd house, communication, intellect, your immediate environment, sometimes siblings, the effect of this transit may be that verbal power plays or arguments with siblings or other people in general, or mental burnout could arise, especially in the areas of life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. You're mentally sharp, but you could be too sharp at this time. Don't feel the need to treat this like a game. Treat it like a puzzle to navigate almost. And so some good advice right now is to speak and act with clarity, not with cruelty. You can channel any pent-up energy into communicating, writing, teaching, advocacy, because your words and how you interact with your immediate environment are the weapons that can help you recapture your power. They aren't something to assert control, they're something to help you capture power. So use your words and your actions wisely. If your natal Mars is in your 4th house, hello. I also have my natal Mars in my 4th house of home, roots, innermost self, security. The effects of this transit could be regarding either family tension or home tension or tension with your traumas. There could be emotional explosions or deep-rooted anger that could come to the surface, or sadness. It could be either. There may be a lot of feelings of being cornered or emotionally raw, especially in relation to the houses that Pluto is transiting and Mars is transiting, so Leo and Aquarius. You might be feeling raw at this time. Don't let these things eat you alive. You're going to act in such a way that can help you recapture your power by channeling this energy for good. You need to defend your peace for the sake of peace, not just your pride. Rebuild your foundations to become stronger from the inside out so that nothing can faze you. It doesn't matter if people are challenging or opposing you with visceral hatred. If your internal self is strong, you can then better act in such a way to reclaim your power. If your natal Mars is in your 5th house of creativity, romance, joy, or self-expression, the effect of this transit may be that there may be some intensity around lovers or children or creativity in some way. Maybe you want to shine, maybe not even in a literal sense, but just in being able to act freely. But something or someone could be challenging your ability to do that, especially in regards to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see what makes you feel stifled, because this may be where you can recapture power. And some ways that you can do that, or advice, is to express without exploding. You can be bold but not performative, and you can make something that brings you passion or creativity or feelings of love or joy, whatever resonates with you. You don't need to wage war. Any pent-up energy you have, you can express it in a creative way, express it in a way that's authentic to you, and that'll help you to recapture your personal power. If your natal Mars is in your 6th house of work, routine, or health, you could be feeling burnout right now, especially in regards to the areas of life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. That could be the source of the burnout. Just pay attention to what is causing this burnout in relation to where Leo and Aquarius is in your chart, because power struggles at work or in your daily grind or within your routines or within your health feel suffocating. Maybe you feel like you're not able to be yourself or to act in a way that is true to yourself. And so some good advice right now that can help you to recapture your power is to detox your schedule. Throw everything that doesn't work away in the trash. Take the trash out, burn it, don't touch it. Assert your boundaries and use this time to refine how you serve and how you act and how you manage your time without being a martyr for something that does not serve you. So keep everything in balance and use the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart to help you understand how that may look. If your natal Mars is in your 7th house of relationships, one-on-one bonds, contracts, marriages, whatever, the effect of this transit may be that you could have conflicts with partners or business partners or romantic partners or individuals. One-on-one relationships could be challenged, or your idea of it could be challenged. Control dynamics in either direction, whether it's you controlling or the other person controlling, or the idea of you or the other person controlling, could be exposed at this time, especially in relation to the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see where these feelings of control or feeling controlled, whatever is relevant to you, might be triggered. And some advice for you at this time is to fight with someone, team up with somebody to fight against the problem. Don't make it like a you versus somebody else or you versus them issue, because your bonds or your relationships or your ideas of that don't need domination. They need balance. So it's time to negotiate, not dominate. If your natal Mars is in your 8th house of intimacy, power, and transformation, the effect of this transit may be that raw desire or obsession, buried rage, or buried action may surface, especially in relation to the areas of your life where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. Sexual, financial, or emotional power struggles are likely at this time. And so whatever is triggering these power struggles, be aware of them and use this knowledge as an opportunity to recapture your power and to transform your life. And some advice for you right now is to transform. Do not suppress. Channel any built up energy into healing or therapy or sexual empowerment, whatever relates to you, because power shared is power multiplied, and any power at all can be reclaimed by you. So this is something to keep in mind at this time. If your natal Mars is in your 9th house of belief, expansion, travel, etc., anything outside of your comfort zone, your beliefs are being challenged, or you're the one pushing your beliefs a little too hard at this time, especially in relation to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So pay attention to where you were either feeling challenged or where you were exerting your will strongly, because this may show where an imbalance may fall and where you can recapture your power at this time. There could be possible conflicts over culture or religion or just truth in general, so take what resonates. And some good advice for you is to let go of the need to be right. Focus your fire on expanding your wisdom, not forcing your view, because sometimes the power can be captured in understanding what's going on around you and taking things in instead of forcing things out. And so if you feel like you need to exert yourself extra hard, you might find that there's actually more power in taking things in, and you might find that you get better results from doing that. If your natal Mars is in your 10th house of career or status or public life, the effect of this transit may be that career battles or power plays with authority or obsessive ambition or like the idea of it may surface at this time, especially relating to factors where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see how these tendencies come out given the factors of Leo and Aquarius and where they fall in your chart at this time. Even if they're not directly related, they may be indirectly related. Because you want to rise fast, you want to recapture your power, but you need to do so cleverly in order to not let that power grab onto you. And so some advice at this time that can help is to lead and act with integrity, not image, because true legacy isn't built on control or gaining success. It is built on purpose. It is built on intentional action. And so acting intentionally could help you to reclaim your power at this time. If your natal Mars is in your 11th house of community, friendship, society, the world at large, or vision, the effect of this transit may be that there's conflicts in friendships or group dynamics, or there could be like conflicts with society, your view of society, conflicts on social media, conflicts within yourself and your role in society. And you may feel left out or like you're not aligned with certain people or beliefs anymore. And something about the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart may be like triggering this feeling of feeling like you're not in alignment with your friend groups or society. So pay attention to what those triggers are, because this can help you to recapture your power. And some advice for you at this time is to find or form new circles or new societal communities or new things to focus on the internet, I don't know, that support your growth. If something's not serving you, don't try to change it, just let it go. You don't have to fit in to belong. You just need to feel like you have your power. And so whatever setting gives you that power, take it. Just do it, because that will help you to achieve more power just overall in your life. You don't need to dominate one thing. You can dominate what calls to you. And if your natal Mars is in your 12th house of the subconscious or hidden matters or the dreams or transcendence, the effect of this transit may be that hidden anger or self-sabotage or passive-aggressive behavior could flare up at this time, especially in relation to the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see what in relation to Leo and Aquarius in your chart could be triggering sort of like this self-sabotage or passive aggressiveness or this hidden anger, and reflect on it. Because when you reflect on it, you will understand what's happening. And when you understand what's happening, you can know how to act better, because this is more of an internal energy, but it is just as intense and it's just as important in recapturing your personal power. And so some advice for you at this time is to do shadow work, journal, meditate, move your body, do what is healing to your subconscious, because you need to release what no longer serves you. Let it go, however you need to do that, and then you can begin to rise. And I know there's some battles that you might feel like you need to fight, but if you release the stress and let go, I promise you, no matter what other people are doing, you will win that battle. If your natal Pluto is in your first house of self, identity, or appearance, the effect of this transit may be that it challenges your identity or how you assert yourself in some way, especially in relation to the houses that Pluto is transiting right now, so Aquarius, or Mars is transiting, aka Leo. So pay attention to those houses in your chart and how you may feel challenged in how you assert yourself, because you may feel that others or like other forces are trying to dominate you or diminish you at this time, or you yourself are unconsciously overpowering them. And so if you can observe the dynamic going on with the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart and what situations trigger sort of like your internal need for power, you will figure out what is happening, and this can help you to recapture power. And so some advice at this time is to claim your space, but with presence, not force. You're meant to lead through personal evolution, not intimidation. And if your natal Pluto is in your second house of money, worth, or possessions, the effects of this transit may be that financial or self-belief control issues or deep insecurities around value could be activated at this time, especially in relation to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see what is triggering like these issues, these deep insecurities within the houses of Leo and Aquarius in your chart, because then you can get a bird's eye view of what's going on. And you might be possessive or overly focused on proving your worth at this time, so see what triggers those emotions at this time as well. And so some good advice right now is to let go of needing things to validate your value, because true security is inner power, not your outer proof. And so if you can recapture your inner power by realizing that you don't need no validation, then boom, your power is yours again. If your natal Pluto is in your third house of communications, your mind, your intellect, your siblings, whatever resonates with you, then the effects of this transit may be that there could be some verbal power struggles, maybe even like obsessive thinking or mental tension that's flaring up, especially in relation to where Pluto is transiting in your chart right now, which is Aquarius, or where Leo is transiting in, or where Mars is transiting in your chart, which is Leo. So pay attention to where these power struggles, obsessive thinking, or mental tension flare up within those houses in your chart, because then you can get a bird's eye view of what's exactly going on. But you may feel unheard or feel the need to dominate a conversation or to dominate the control of your mind, whatever resonates. And so some advice for you right now is to speak with depth, not dominance, or to think deeply. Don't try to dominate your thoughts and figure out all the solutions at once, because mental mastery is your superpower that can be used to like connect with the situation, not control it. And once you connect instead of control, that is when your personal power can be snatched. If your natal Pluto is in your 4th house, hello, that is me in Placidus. I do have a 5th house Pluto whole sign, but in Placidus, I relate to you. And your 4th house, once again, is your house of home or family or emotional roots. And the effects of this transit is that there may be emotional triggers from your childhood, from your family, or your living situation that could resurface at this time, likely related to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in this chart. So pay attention to those houses and see what in relation to those houses trigger these home or family or innermost conflicts, because then you'll get a bird's eye view of the situation. You may be feeling emotionally vulnerable or manipulated, or you could be doing the manipulating. So watch out for that, because once you understand what's going on, you can recapture your power. And this is how you can heal the root to grow the tree. You can heal it through self-care. You can heal it through whatever the Mars blurb that you listened to earlier. Pay attention to what action I urge you to take, because that can heal it as well. And they can help you to transform your foundation. Do not fear things collapsing. Know that a better home, whether metaphorical or literal, will be rebuilt when it is all said or done. If your natal Pluto is in your 5th house of creativity, romance, or self-expression, which in whole sign houses, hello, that is me. My Pluto is in Sagittarius, and I am a Leo Rising, so I might kind of relate to this. And also, if you have questions, like, I can give my experiences as well. But the effects of this transit is that there could be an intense desire for recognition on some level, maybe even romantic control or like creative obsession may arise at this time, especially in regards to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So pay attention to what about those areas of your life surface these feelings in you. And so there may be a need to own your light, but that can attract drama if you try to control it instead of just like living authentically in yourself. So get a bird's eye view of the situation, figure out what's going on, and then follow this advice, which is to express, do not possess. Create from your soul, not your ego. Transform passion into power, not control. And oh my God, this is advice I personally need to hear, because I've had a YouTube channel for a month and it's been a lot of work and I just need to let it go, do my craft. I resonate with you, so take how this resonates with you as well. If your natal chart's Pluto is in your 6th house of work, health, or daily life, the effect of this transit may be a compulsion to control your routine, your health, or your work environment in some way, especially with triggers relating to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So take what resonates. Oh my God, I have heartburn, I'm sorry. Whew. Because burnout or power struggles at work or within your routine are likely. And so by understanding like what is triggering this need for control, you can then get a bird's eye view of the situation, and that can help you reclaim your power in so many ways. And so some advice at this time is to rethink how you serve and support yourself, because true strength comes from balance, not overworking. And if you can like take this in mind in conjunction with the advice I gave for your Mars sign, boom, you got your power back. And so hope that helps. If your Pluto is in your 7th house of partnerships, contracts, one-on-one relationships, whatever it may be, the effect of this transit may be that there are power dynamics in relationships that could erupt, or your idea of relationships could bubble up some feelings that are not very comfortable, because you may attract intense or controlling people or face your own control issues that are reflected in others. It could go either way. And so pay attention to the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart to sort of get a better idea on how this dynamic is going to play out for you, because then you can kind of understand what's happening for you. And once you have that bird's eye view, then that's where you can recapture your power. Because advice for you at this time is that relationships are just mirrors. Remember that. If someone's not treating you well and you're letting them do that, then you're the one letting them do that. But also you need to stand your ground. You need to learn from the tension. You need to transform how you share power and not just how you hold it. You need to make sure that your relationships are in balance. And once your relationships are in true balance, that's when you got your power back. And if your natal Pluto is in your 8th house of intimacy or power or transformation or other people's resources, the effect of this transit may be that there could be deep psychological or sexual transformation that's being triggered for you at this time. And take what resonates with that, obviously, but it could relate somehow to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So pay attention to where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart, because that is probably going to be the culprit of what is triggering these issues at this time. And you may confront betrayal or obsession or jealousy or a fear of losing control in relation to these areas of your life. So just like be aware of it, get a bird's eye view, because that is step one to recapturing your power. And some advice for you at this time is that surrender is strength. Let go of the need to dominate or to cling, because rebirth is happening. Trust the process, follow the advice I gave for your Mars sign and your rising sign, and then boom, you're gonna get your power back, trust me. If your natal Pluto is in your 9th house of beliefs, travel, of truth, expansion, going out of your comfort zone, then the effect of this transit is that your worldview may be challenged in some way, especially with triggers that relate to the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So see, what about those areas of life are challenging your worldview? There was a bird. Did you see that reflection? Sorry, I have ADHD. Because once you do that, you can figure out where the dynamics fall for you at this time. You may feel compelled to force your truth at this time, or you could feel under attack for your beliefs. And so be aware of that. Get your view nice and clear in your vision, and then follow the following advice. You need to evolve your philosophy. Do not defend it blindly. Let go of dogma and expand your mind with humility. And if you can embrace this energy in conjunction with the advice I gave for your Mars sign in your house and the advice I gave for your rising sign, then boom, you got your power back. And this might take time or effort, but I hope this helps. I hope it gives you a starting point at the very least. If your natal Pluto is in your 10th house of career, reputation, authority, then the effect of this transit may be that career or public power struggles may arise, or your idea of these things could arise some tension in your life. There could be authority figures or higher up figures that could threaten your control, or you yourself could be overbearing in the pursuit of success. And this could be triggered from the houses where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. So pay attention to what about these areas of life trigger these feelings within you, or what triggers this need to like succeed and to control your idea of success on such a grand level. Because once you do that, you'll get a bird's eye view on what's going on. And once you got the bird's eye view, you'll know how to apply your energy. And so some advice for you at this time is to lead with integrity, not control. Your legacy depends on the power you wield. Make it transformative, not tyrannical. And do this obviously with the advice I gave for your Mars sign and your rising sign, because once you combine all of these little factors into a little concoction or stew, then you'll know how to reclaim your power, and then boom. Your whole life won't be solved, obviously, but at least one area of your life will improve. If your natal Pluto is in your 11th house of community, vision, friendship, society, the world at large, then the effect of this transit is that you may outgrow certain friendships, you may feel like you outgrow like certain communities, or you may outgrow like your view of society at some level, or you could feel tension within group settings in some way. So, or within society or within your goals or aspirations. Take what resonates with you, and this could be triggered by the houses that Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart as well. So combine all of those factors together to figure out what's like happening. And hidden power dynamics with peers or communities could also surface. And so remembering where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart and like figuring out how these dynamics are all like intermingling with each other, then you can figure out what's going on, get a bird's eye view, and then that is the first step to reclaiming your power. And some advice for you is to redefine your tribe. You're meant to transform collective spaces. Don't shrink or conform to stay accepted. Find what makes you powerful, especially using the action of the advice I gave for your Mars and your rising sign, and then boom, you got your power back. And if your natal Pluto is in your 12th house of the subconscious, spirituality, hidden matters, transcendence, the effect of this transit may be that there could be unconscious fears, karmic patterns, or there could be self-sabotage that emerges. So pay attention to where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart, because these may be the sources of these triggers at this time. See how Leo and Aquarius and the Aries fall in your chart trigger these unconscious fears. get this like nice bird's eye view, and you may feel overwhelmed or isolated or experience spiritual upheaval at this time. But trust me when I say that understanding and going within is step one to reclaiming your personal power. And so some good advice for you at this time is to face the shadow with grace. This is the deepest alchemy, healing old soul wounds to reclaim your power from within. And if you can channel this in addition to the advice I gave for your Mars and your rising sun, then I think you're on a good track to getting your power back. I hope this video helps so much. Please give this a like and a comment, and even subscribe if this helped a little bit, because I want to push this content out to as many people as possible, because I really enjoy helping so many people to recapture their power, and I hope that you use this transit to recapture your power. And after this transit, if you find that this resonates, you can even come back later and let me know how it went. And so I hope this all helped, and I can't wait to see you next time.